So this is the book I have borrowed some ideas from. This is Keith Foltz and Tyson Pook's book. This has got 6 volumes, starting with Foundations and then 1 to 5. And because I know that Tony is specifically interested in writing, I highly recommend Tony.
Yes, I am.
That I highly recommend that you remind me some other time so that I can at least send you the PDF of this book if I can't send you the physical
Definitely, definitely.
hard copy of it.
Thank
Okay,
you so very
so
much.
let's
Thank you.
look at the definition of an essay by Keith Foltz, and I will tell you why I have highlighted some words or expressions in yellow. An essay is a written composition on one subject that expresses the views of the writer. In an essay, a writer shares information about a topic with an audience, a teacher, fellow students, or the world beyond the classroom. Most academic essays share a similar structure, no matter the topic or length. A well-written essay is organized around these basic parts: an introduction, a body, and a conclusion. And the reason I have highlighted some of these parts in yellow is that one subject is, I have highlighted one subject because sometimes in some essays, you can clearly see that parts of an essay, or at least one part of essay, is discussing another subject, not exactly the subject that you are going to write about. When we say expresses the views of the author or the writer, I think this signifies the importance of stating your position. In an essay, especially in a short argumentative essay, and for those who would like to take IELTS or tests like IELTS in the future, they should pay special attention to this one. Your position has to be clearly stated throughout the essay. And that's why I have highlighted this section in yellow. Expresses the views of the writer. The next part I have highlighted is the audience, the importance of audience. It's important to know who you're writing to. If you're writing to the academic audience, meaning, for example, your professor at university, or you're writing an IELTS essay or similar essays which have got to be formal, you need to employ a formal register. Otherwise, in different contexts, you might use different actually registers. And finally, the 3 parts of an essay I have highlighted as introduction, body, and a conclusion, which are the 3 sections of a normal essay. By the way, feel free to interrupt me if you have any questions you can't actually keep till the end of the session. I might be able to give you time to talk. However, if I can't, I apologize now. So, from there, from in the definition of an essay, let's look at the 4 important areas. And the reason I call this 4 crucial areas is because your essay will be assessed against these 4 areas. Okay. So when you submit an essay, let's say, for example, an IELTS writing essay, task 2 or 1, there are 4 areas examiners use to assess your writing. The first one is task response. The second one is coherence and cohesion. The third one is grammar range and accuracy. And the fourth one is lexical resource. There is not a fifth element or area or column to assess your writing against, or to use to assess your writing. There are only these 4 areas. And Tony and Shirzi and many other experienced teachers who are here with us tonight know that sometimes people do not have a clear idea of what task response and coherence and cohesion really refer to. I mean, grammar and vocabulary are crystal clear for lots of people, but for task response and coherence and cohesion, it's not always clear. Um, So let's start with the task response. Task response is the answer to the question, your main ideas and how you develop them. There are so many messages in the chat box. That's to fully address the question. Okay. Just forget about that poll. You know, we are not actually using that poll anymore. That didn't work, and the problem might be my side or your side, doesn't matter. Look at the task response. So the first crucial area we need to pay attention to is the task response. It's your response to the question. And of course, for this one, you need to understand the question. I mean, the worst case scenario is when you don't understand the question. And does it happen? It may, you know. Of course, test developers try to use topics which are usually familiar to majority of people, but chances are, especially for some underage students or attendees or test takers, for example, a topic is not really understandable, in which case, most probably, even if they, for example, display a very high level of grammar and vocabulary, I don't think that they'll be able to respond the task properly because they haven't understood the question. So what I tell people is, after you see the question, please give yourself a minute or two and try to think about the question adequately. Don't jump to respond to the question. Think about it. Make sure that you really know what the question wants you to do, okay? And remember to pay attention to all issues in the question. Everything in the question needs to be addressed. Avoid too general statements. Do not go off topic. Write within the word limit. So the 4 areas or the 4 crucial areas for assessment or to consider in essay writing, as we just mentioned: task response, coherence, cohesion, grammar, and vocabulary. Each will be given a separate score, and finally, the 4 areas of scores will be added up, divided by 4. So you might have a splendid grammar and vocabulary. However, if you get a low score in task response, this will absolutely damage your essay in a negative way, in a terrible way, so that you get a very low score. Sometimes after the test, you say, I think I did a very brilliant job of writing an essay, but when you see your score, you see it's a very low one because you did very poorly in the task response section. And I'm not 100% confident, maybe Tony and others can help me, but I remember maybe there's this idea that if you do not really respond to the task and to the question properly, doesn't matter how well you write or how well you do the other sections, you will get a very, very low score for your essay writing, maybe a 2, a 3, or even lower than that, because you haven't responded to the question. You haven't responded to the topic. So the 4 areas of task response: don't go off topic, avoid too general statements, pay attention to all issues in the question, and write within the word limit. This one, the reason I have put this image here is to help you internalize the concept of task response. You cannot say someone is a great writer, so I wonder why, for example, this person didn't get an 8 or a 9 in, for example, IELTS writing. Someone might be a great writer, but given the context or given the question, was he or she able to respond to the question, to that topic? You see this gentleman here dressed very casually, very informally, might be really nice to have chat with, to go out to the beach together, I don't know, to have fun with. But imagine this guy was your first date in your life. You went out with this guy. Actually, you had a date with this guy. You went out, and he appeared like this. Would you want to see him a second time, ladies? Fatima says excellent. Melissa says yes.
A yes, a big
It would
yes.
be my life. Oh my God. It would be my life. Depends on his pockets. Nilu, I love it. Yeah, yeah, excellent. Excellent. So you see, uh, for example, on a first date, normally, joking apart, I don't think we can say that he's dressed properly. Colors matter. Um, it's not, he's not dressed suitably or properly for the occasion. Imagine, I don't know, God forbid, there's a funeral and someone wears red to a funeral. Or imagine you go to a wedding and you are all in black, all in black. All in black is definitely proper for a funeral ceremony. So this is the reason I'm trying to make this, to use this analogy to help you internalize that it doesn't matter what you wear. The question is if what you're wearing is suitable or what you're wearing is proper. So in task response, you should respond to the task. You should respond to the question, and how well you write is the second thing. And thank you so much for your great responses. All right, next thing is about coherence and cohesion. Um, what is coherence and cohesion? The organization of essay paragraphs and the use of linking words. They are very much actually interdependent or interrelated, if you like, coherence and cohesion. But I think the simplest way to differentiate between coherence and cohesion, coherence is about making sense. For example, if your writing makes sense, and cohesion is about the glue, is about um, how much the sentences and paragraphs are supporting each other, how much, for example, this transition from one sentence to another is supported so that it attracts no attention. If you read the descriptors of IELTS writing task 2, in the column which is about coherence and cohesion, you will see one of the descriptors in number 9 or 8 is a score 9 or 8 is the writing attracts no attention. It has been written so beautifully and so professionally that it does not attract any attentions. And the reason is because it's so cohesive. It's so cohesive. Sentences are supporting one another, and the essay as a whole makes sense. And to secure a high score in coherence and cohesion, your essay should be about 4 to 5 paragraphs. There should be one, and I'm emphasizing one central topic in each body paragraph, please. Try to use a range of linking words and do not show all your knowledge. So one disaster, I should call this, one disaster in essay writing is when you are displaying your knowledge of something which is definitely more than the scope of that essay. Given a subject, you know a lot of things, but remember, you don't have to display all your knowledge. Select few of them and then elaborate on them or develop them. And I think I have used an interesting photo for this one. Let me see. I still remember that British breakfast example you gave, Mark. Oh, yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. Mismatched socks. I love them. Okay. All right. Let's go to the next slide. Um, Look at this lady. Does this ring a bell? Tony, does this ring a bell in your home to you? I have nothing to wear.
The, I can I cannot answer this question.
Yeah. If this is your problem, ladies, please write my problem or yes in the chat box. If it's not your problem, say no, my problem. Sarah says yes, my problem. Sherzi says my problem. Oh, yes, yes, yes. Not really. Nilu says not really. Sophie says yes. No money to buy clothes. Nana, definitely. Okay. This is a classic example of when ladies say I have nothing to wear, and you go to the closet, you open the closet and you see a closet full of clothes, but they say I have nothing to wear. And the reason, please remember, the reason I have put this image here is because I just want to make this analogy for you, to know that sometimes in writing you have so many ideas that you don't know which one to use. And more often than not, you have more than you need. For example, you need 2 ideas to develop, but you have 10 of them. Given any topic, especially for the people I'm talking tonight, given any topic, I think you have lots of things. You have lots of ideas and you don't know which one to use. Then you will have the problem of this lady. I have nothing to wear. And you don't know. So it's a little bit of, when you're writing an essay, it's a little bit of organizing your thoughts in your mind, getting rid of a lot of them,